I used to wake up genuinely excited to create crypto content on TikTok every day. I would show up, post consistently, build an audience, promote brands, and grow a real community around it. Honestly, it felt alive. It felt like me. But then something actually shifted. One day, I realized I no longer felt alive doing it. The excitement had faded. I started taking unnecessary breaks, not because I needed to rest, but because my mind and my body were withdrawing. There were days when I would stare at the screen, wondering, does any of this even matter anymore? I was pushing through mostly for the money. And this is me forcing content that used to actually light me up. As a content creator who had spent over a year showing up every single day, posting daily, growing an audience, working with brands, it felt overwhelming and scary to admit that this part no longer felt right. What if people saw me going back and forth? What if they thought I was inconsistent or lost? Deep down, I knew there was something bigger that I wanted to do. But staying in that limbo of just knowing actually scared me more than the risks of trying something new. I figured that I would rather explore my full potential, try things that might not work, and stay true to my journey than shrink myself into a version that no longer fits. As the philosopher Henry Bergson said, to exist is to change is to mature is to go on creating oneself endlessly. And that idea stayed with me. If you're feeling stuck right now, drained, heavy footed, or like your daily work no longer excites you, I made this video for you. Today, I'm sharing 6 signs that helped me to know it was time for me to pivot. Plus, the simple framework that I created and I am still using today. I call it the Pivot Grace Framework. Once I started noticing these patterns in my life, I was able to figure out these 6 signs that told me, girl, it's time for you to pivot. Number one, I no longer felt alive doing the things that I was doing. For me, the adrenaline disappeared. It started feeling like I was forcing myself every single time. Number two, I started doubting the relevance of my work. I would post something and immediately wonder, does this even make sense? I mean, instead of trusting the work itself, I started chasing external validation, things like likes, comments, views, and the rest. Number three, I began picking up new interests. When I saw myself started speaking about new interests, the things that used to spark curiosity, the things that used to excite me no longer do. No longer make me feel alive, no longer build curiosity in my mind. You see, the truth about curiosity is that the moment you stop being curious about something, that thing begins to die. Developing new curiosity means that your past interest has unlocked another layer of you, something greater that now requires a higher version of yourself to operate in. If you have to force curiosity on things that no longer excite you, it means that you're trying to shrink yourself back to who you used to be. And when everything begins to feel like a burden, personally, I knew I was running out of room. Number four, I started doing things only for the money. I figured that the joy completely disappeared. The work itself became transactional. Number five, I felt drained. Everything became like a routine. The same task that once used to energize me now feels heavy and repetitive. And the sixth sign was that I was present, but I always felt absent. There are days when I wasn't really here. I was physically present, but mentally I checked out. I was wishing I was elsewhere. I was wishing I was doing other things. After I saw all the signs stack up inside, I started digging deep because the last thing I want to do is lie to myself. And that was when I created this framework. I call it the Pivot Grace Framework because it's really about giving grace to yourself while you watch yourself grow. And here are the 6 steps that I am using right now. The first step, of course, starts with acceptance. I begin by writing out the things that used to excite me that no longer excites me. Here, you need to be very honest, even if it's uncomfortable, because the truth is your brain, your mind wants to stay in the known. Being honest with yourself about what no longer excites you may feel a bit tricky unless you decide to sit in honesty. Ask a friend, have they noticed anything different in you that they may have not seen lately? For me, I had to ask my friend, if I wasn't doing crypto content, what else do you naturally see me do? Then she said, oh yeah, people come to you a lot for advice, for decision making processes, and a couple of other deep conversations. Why don't you look into that? And I added it to this list that I am making. Also, number 3, highlight your transferable skills. You see, whatever skills you have been stacking can be transferred to the next version of yourself. So you need to look at what you already have and how it can serve the new interest that excites you. For me, I knew I had the skills of content creation and community building, and these were transferable for me as someone delving into helping people becoming better best versions of themselves through my new program that I'll be introducing very soon called Becoming Her. I knew that there were a lot of transferable skills that I had before that I needed to move into where I am right now. The fourth thing on this framework is to draw a realistic plan. Ask yourself, how long will it take to settle into this new direction? Give yourself a reasonable timeline, ideally between 6 months to 12 months. Something in between, something not too long, so you don't drift back to the things you said you no longer want to do, and something not too short, so you don't get burnt out. I gave myself a year to start this whole thing and to see it through, and I'm glad I did that. The fifth thing in the framework you need to do is slowly introduce your new interests into your current environment. You need to start small, change what you see, what you read, what you hear, what you post about, rewire your surroundings to match where you are headed. For me, I had to start checking a couple of interesting things. I got a few books on sales because I figured that a huge part of talking to people is sell. Even if you're not selling a product, as a human, you need to learn how to sell yourself, sell you. I started reading a couple of books that taught me how to ask reasonable questions. I started changing my environment gradually to suit where I was headed. And the sixth one is to give yourself grace. See, you need to understand that pivoting is risky. You may not succeed successfully or perfectly, but you will learn and unlock new potentials every day. There are days when I feel like I may not have done this the way I was supposed to, but I give myself grace because I'm pivoting into something new. Allowing yourself to feel and feel forward is also very important. As Viktor Franklin puts it, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are forced to change ourselves. And that's what this framework is all about, changing yourself to change your situation. I'm applying this framework right now, and every day I remind myself to move with grace. If you see the signs in your life, start with step one and step two of the Pivot Grace framework this week and expand from there. The most important thing is to stay honest with yourself. Never lie about how you feel, never chase false hopes, and stay true to your journey. As Abraham Maslow once said, in any given moment, you have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. I chose growth, and I hope this video helps you do the same. If this video spoke to you, then you may want to stick around because I will be sharing more of my journey, the lessons, the experiments, and how all my experiences can help others in the same messy middle. If this video helped you feel less alone, please like the video, subscribe for more honest stories and framework, and drop in the comments which of the 6 signs is hitting you the hardest right now. I read every single one of them. Take care, and remember, staying true to yourself is never a waste of time. Bye.